Hello everybody, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. I have a different type of video today based on a couple of questions that I receive actually quite regularly, and I feel very, honored that you want to come to me with these questions because I don't feel like I'm an expert in fountain pens or anything. I'm just sharing my love of the hobby and what I'm learning along the way. But I wanted to do this video to kind of help some of those questions as well. So what you see in front of me are some of the starter pens that I have tried in my fountain pen journey, and I wanted to just give you some of my thoughts on these. These are not all of my pens. Some of these are my husband's and he loves them, spoiler alert. So I just wanted to share my initial thoughts on them as well. One thing I do want to start off with when it comes to when they call them starter pens or beginner pens is that I feel like that name or that category can be a little bit misleading. Yes, they're very great to, to try out fountain pens and to start the hobby with, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to move on from these or that they're only in your collection if you're a beginner. These pens are great at any stage of your fountain pen collecting journey. So I have 6 here that I want to give you my thoughts on and give you some basic information like pricing and things and where you can find them. So the first one I am going to talk to you about is probably one of my favorites. It is the Pilotkakuno. These come in a variety of colors and you can get them, I can see them actually on the Atlas site now. They can come in translucent green, aqua, pink, coral, and in the clear. I've seen them actually in different colorways where the barrel is white and the cap is blue or yellow or pink, or there's an even all gray one on Amazon. So there's a lot of different options for these. These come in a plastic box with a converter, or sorry, not a converter, with a cartridge. You can though fit in a Con 40 converter or a Con 70 converter. I'll show you what a Con 70 converter looks like. It's basically one of those push, vacuum, but one of those push converters like this, but you can fit this onto, I'm not demonstrating this very well here, but what I love about the Pilotkakuno is that you can put a Con 70 in here and you get a huge ink capacity with that. Like, how cool is that? Now this is not an eyedropper fill because there are holes in the top here, but the other con, I guess, to this is that you do have to buy a converter for it. It doesn't automatically come with a converter, but it is, I guess, relatively inexpensive enough that you can buy a converter on top of that. And then this pen overall is around $20 as a starter pen. The nibs are adorable because they have little happy faces on them. These nibs are actually really great because you can change them out with the same nibs that are in the Pilot Metropolitan, the Pilot Prera, and I believe there's one more that I'm missing. But I also had a Pilot Plumix that had a calligraphy medium nib that I'm actually able to switch out into my Pilotkakuno. So those are the reasons why I like the Pilotkakuno. 1, it is relatively inexpensive. 2, there are a lot of different color versions for you. 3, you can exchange the nibs or interchange the nibs here. And I mean, 4, it's actually, the nib is a great writer. I love the calligraphy medium nib, but I also love the fine nib that comes on my other Kakuno. It actually fits pretty well in my hand here. Now, one of the caveats with this is that if you do like a finer line nib, the Pilot nibs are generally finer. So a fine nib on a Pilot is probably equivalent to like a 0.3 line on a gel pen, or 0.35, somewhere there. So that is the Pilotkakuno. And if you're buying the converter with this, it's probably going to run you anywhere from $15 to $20. And that's in, I believe, US prices. I'm looking at US prices. The next one, I probably should have gone in order of price here, but the next one is the Platinum Preppy. Now, a lot of people do start with this, and this is, I guess it could be a disposable pen for some people, but there are some people who actually buy the converter to go in here, and then also you can take the cartridges, clean them out, and refill them again. So there's nothing wrong with actually just sticking with using the same Platinum Preppy over and over again. It's got different sizes of nibs, so I've seen a 0.5 and a 0.3 as well, and they're a great little pen here. Now, I don't believe you can eyedropper this, so I do recommend using a cartridge or buying a converter if you plan on keeping that. But really, in terms of pricing, just really stick with the converter and rinse it out with a blend tip syringe and then fill it with ink again. And you've got a really good, dependable fountain pen. I like this because, one, it is actually comfortable in the hand. Two, it looks like a regular gel pen that you would normally use. It is a little bit more expensive than a gel pen. A Platinum Preppy will run you, well, I say a little bit more expensive, but you can see these from $6 on Atlas Stationers. And then you can buy cartridges. The cartridges in here are proprietary for Platinum, so they will only fit in the Platinum, feeds, but they are really, really great writers. Like the Pilot, they are going to generally be finer than some of the Western brands out there, but I really like the Platinum Preppy as a starter pen, or if you wanted to try just what a fountain pen nib is like, this is a great one as well. And it's one of the less expensive ones too when we're looking at starter pens. Now, I feel like, what order should I go in? Let's move these to the side here, and we'll go in this order. So then the next we have the the Pilot Metropolitan. My husband absolutely loves this pen. It's a heavier pen. It's a metal pen, and it's got a snap cap. And like I said before, the nib in this can also be interchanged with the Pilotkakuno, the Pilot Plumix, and then the Pilot Prera. So those four, they can all interchange the nibs there as well. So my husband has a calligraphy medium on this. My one big thing that I do not like about the Pilot Metropolitan is the converter. It's a squeeze converter. It's really hard to see whether or not it's full, whether or not it's empty, and I'm not a fan of cleaning it or filling it. And I actually hate it when my husband makes me clean and fill his, because I feel like I've spoiled him. I'm the one who's done all the cleaning and filling of his fountain pens for him. But he loves this because it fits well in his hand. It's a good weight, and he can post it as well. So for him, this is a really, really good size pen. But for me, just the little things of the converter, but also for me, the step here between the body and the grip are just a little bit too pronounced. So where I rest my fingers, it makes it really uncomfortable. But for some people, they absolutely love this pen. They love the look of it. There's a lot of different options for this pen that can really make it a good classic pen to have. It's not too, I don't want to say outlandish, but there are some pen brands out there that are just kind of punch you in the face. Here I am with a fountain pen. But the Pilot Metropolitan looks like it could be something really classy that you could have with you in the office and not attract too much attention. So a Pilot Metropolitan can run you anywhere about, $25 as your next step up pen. The next one that I want to talk about is the CCO Sport. For many of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you're probably surprised to see that I have one, and I will be doing a proper review on this. But I know a lot of people who love the CCO Sport. One, because it is offered in so many different colors. Two, it just looks cute. And three, it's actually, for a lot of people, quite a good consistent writer. So it is a little pocket pen. You unscrew the cap, and then you post it on the back like this to make it more of a regular size pen. Now, when I first tried this pen 3 years ago now, I was not a fan. I didn't like the nib because the nib itself was scratchy, but I've tried it again recently and I actually really, really like it now. I like the compact look of it. I did add the clip. The clip is an additional charge. And I love the overall look of it, and I love the feel of that extra fine nib. Now, the cons to this particular one, though, are that one, mine leaked everywhere, but two, they will come with a cartridge and not a converter, so you have to purchase the converter separately. And the converter that comes with the CCO Sport is teeny tiny. Probably one of the tiniest converters that I have seen on the market, and I've seen them, how much are they charging for that? I've seen them for like, I think $5 on PenChalet, but it's such a tiny ink capacity that you're better off actually just using the cartridge and refilling it with a blunt syringe. Now, I haven't probably put that in there properly all the way, which is why it leaked, but refilling the cartridge and cleaning it out every single time will give you a lot more ink capacity. So I think that's one of the reasons why some people don't like the CCO Sport, is just the ink capacity. But overall, as a less expensive pen, it's cute. The aesthetic doesn't suit everyone, but I think it's a cute pen. I love the clip. I love that brown macchiato color. So that is my thought on that starter pen. And those will run around $30, or I guess around $30 depending on the particular type of CCO Sport. They have different collections for the CCO Sport, so the price can vary depending on, I guess, the color and the material. But like I said, you do have to purchase the clip separately, and you do have to purchase the converter separately. The next one is the TWSBI Eco, another one that I didn't expect to add into my collection again. This was a pen that I had in my collection a couple of years ago, and then I sold it. And then because of the beautiful colorways, I decided to purchase it again this year. So for me, it's not a starter pen, but it's a pen that you can have in your collection over time. But it's a great one for a lot of people who just want to try out fountain pens, because one, it has a fantastic ink capacity, and two, I actually really like the nibs on this. I believe this one's oh gosh, I can't even see. I have a fine and an extra fine nib on both of my TWSBI Ecos, and both write really well. I think one of the things with this particular pen, though, that might be intimidating for a lot of new people to the fountain pen hobby is the piston filling system. So you don't have cartridges with this. You do have to have a bottle of ink or even a sample of ink to be able to fill this. So this might be something that is intimidating to someone who's never tried a fountain pen before, but don't let that keep you from trying this. It's a great pen if you like to have a good workhorse pen that has a lot of ink capacity. The TWSBI Eco can certainly do that for you, but also cleaning it actually isn't too difficult. I haven't had a lot of difficulty cleaning this, even with some shimmer inks. So TWSBI Eco is a great one to try, and there are a lot of people that I see there that collect all the different colors of the TWSBI Ecos, if that is your thing, and they can run from anywhere around like $30 all the way to $50 and higher, depending on the color and the finish. So for example, the rose gold finishes are going to be a little bit more expensive, but really this is a great workhorse pen. I really enjoy it, actually, now that I've gotten into my fountain pen journey a little bit more. I say this because it's funny that some of the pens that I had at the beginning of my fountain pen journey, you know, I try pens throughout my journey, and some it's okay if I grow out of them, and some I'm like, why do I feel like more expensive pens are suddenly all better than some of these starter pens or less expensive pens. And really it's a matter of personal preference, what we like and what we like writing with. So the price of the pen doesn't always equate to where it should be on our fountain pen journey, if that makes sense. So this can be a pen for somebody who's completely new to the hobby, or it can be something that, you know, some people still love to collect after how many years in this hobby. Anyway, moving on to the last pen here. This is a Lami Allstar. This is my husband's pen. I do not have a Lami Safari, which is why I'm not showing it, but the Lami Allstar is basically the aluminum version. And oh my God, he has ink everywhere. I need to clean that. Oh, let me clean it. Okay. So the Lami Safari is really the, I guess, plastic version of this pen. This is the aluminum version, or the Lami Allstar. And the Lami Safari can run anywhere from around like maybe $25 to $30 or up to $40. The thing with the Lami Safari though is that it does, while it does come with a cartridge, if you wanted a converter, you would have to purchase the converter separately, which, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of one of my things where I'm like, if you're going to sell a pen, you should sell the converter with it, because in North America, most people love to change their inks and we're not necessarily bound by cartridges. But the great thing with the Lami Safari or the Allstar that I like is that the nibs are interchangeable, and if you wanted to buy replacement nibs, you certainly can, and they range from extra fine to fine, medium, broad, a 1.1 stub and a 1.5 stub. This is a 1.5 stub and my husband loves it. So for me, I didn't end up keeping my Lami Allstar. I mean, the triangle grip here wasn't necessarily for me, but I think just the weight of it wasn't for me either. Whereas my husband absolutely loves this pen. He posts this pen and it's perfect for his larger hands. So for him, he loves the weight of this pen, he loves the look of this pen, but he also loves the fact that it has that 1.5 stub nib on there. So like I said, those run from anywhere from like $30 to $40, and then you're gonna add the converter on top of that. So these are some different choices for some starter, and I don't even wanna call them starter, but I wanna say less expensive pens. Some of the pens that I didn't include in this lineup were some from Jinhao or Moonman, and not that I'm knocking those brands at all. I just feel like there's so many and I haven't tried all of them that I don't know if I'm the expert to be able to go into Moonman or Jinhao or anything like that. So these are the ones that I know of well and would recommend to anyone who does want to try fountain pens and start. So all of these, I'm not saying that every single person should like or will like all of these. I'm saying these are definitely ones that you can try. And part of the whole fountain pen journey is to experiment and to see what you like and what you don't like. And what one person likes may not be what another person likes. And that's the whole beauty of this hobby, is that there's so many pens that we can all use and enjoy. I feel like this was a whole like on my high horse talking about this hobby. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you found it valuable, please let me know down in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and have yourselves a great day.